All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to tonight's pregame show. And sorry, I was having a little technical difficulties there. And I appreciate y'all being patient with me right there. This is the first time doing this year. I hope you like our new streaming platform. We've been doing this throughout the entire football season, and I think it's really worked out well. And we're going to be doing a lot more of this stuff in the very near future here at Cyclone Fanatic and all over our social media platforms and all that good stuff. So without that, I want to thank our friends from the Iowa Clinic and the Iowa Clinic Men's Center. They've sponsored pregame here. We've just in the past done it on Facebook. But now we are doing it throughout all of social media. So we thank them for their sponsorship, and they'll be a part of our bowl coverage in our championship week coverage coming up next week as well. But a big one tonight. It's really the first, feels like a real game for Iowa State tonight against Iowa. And that's kind of the theme, for me. I really don't have any expectations for Iowa State tonight. Do you guys? I surely don't. We just really don't know much about this basketball team. What we have seen from Iowa State thus far has not been great. It's been very inconsistent, like you would expect with the team, with all these newcomers. I will say one thing, and that is that I do believe that this is a more talented team than it was a year ago. That says a lot, too, when you consider that you lost Tyrese Halliburton. However, I just think that this team probably is going to have some games that will jump up and you'll be like, wow, where did that come from? And I also think that this team's going to have a lot of stinkers, and we kind of saw one of those the other night where they just weren't consistent. They played a pretty good second half, I thought, against that South Dakota State team. But man, the first half was pretty rough. The first half in the first game was pretty rough, and that's what you expect from a team that they have experience. Like there's guys who have played, but they haven't played together, right? And that's how. I think Iowa's got a huge. I think Iowa has a huge advantage against a lot of teams that they're playing this year, right? Because of the experience that they have and the fact that they've played together so much, and that's just not Iowa State right now. But nonetheless, so what are we looking for tonight? What are we expecting tonight from Iowa State? And I just want it to be respectable. That sounds like such a defeatist mentality, but I think that just competing would be a good step for this team tonight. I think that would be a really big step forward, and they really needed that game against DePaul. This is a team that needs reps, and if they go out there and compete, I'll be happy. And that sucks that we're at that spot, but I do feel like that's when you're a 14-point underdog. I mean, what else are you looking for? I'm looking into the Big 12. 2 games coming up next week. I don't anticipate Iowa State wins this game. I can't really find a path to victory for the Cyclones tonight. But what I do want to see is how do you get to the point where next week you look at Iowa State and you go, okay, probably won't win at West Virginia, but you should beat Kansas State at home and just start to feel better about things, right? And just put yourself in a position where, middle of the Big 12 season, this is a team that can sneak up on some people. I think they have the talent to do so, but I don't think that they have the chemistry, and I think they're way behind. A lot of teams are way behind right now, so you're not alone. But, man, this team needs reps, and I think anybody who's watched them play can see that too. The challenge strategically tonight for Iowa State is I don't know what you do. Hold on, I'm gonna have a beer with you guys. It's Friday night. Wow. McDermott and Creighton now up 25 on Hoiberg in Nebraska. This was like a close game not that long ago. We got all sorts of Iowa State flavor tonight on the Big Ten Network. So yeah, I'm not there. Obviously, Jared is there for us. We'll have a halftime show just like we have for the football season, and we'll go to Carver Hawkeye Arena and pick Jared's brain on all that. But yeah, I just want to see some progress, and it's tough because the last taste we have in our mouth is that South Dakota State game. However, I if you guys listened to me before, I thought South Dakota State would win that game. I really did. I was not. I was not confident going into that one. I just know that program too well. I know Hendo, the head coach, really well. I watched them play a lot. They're a lot like a little bit of a Iowa light in the sense at their level because they've all played together so much. And we'll see. I want to start seeing the younger guys too. Hopefully Foster's starting to get, his legs under him. He's been hurt. He's been I don't know if he had COVID or not, but I know he was out for just a little bit. And, start to work him in just a little bit. Let's just go through the roster here real quick, and then I'll let you guys out of here. Just going to get, I think Javon Johnson, if you're looking at one guy tonight who could be an X factor and help Iowa State, really make this thing interesting, he's the guy. I think he's the matchup problem that Iowa State presents. Jalen Coleman-Lands is a guy who's played in this spot before. Solomon Young is just going to have to be, an absolute dog out there against the big man Luka Garza for the Hawks. He is an absolute beast down there, and Solomon is going to have his work cut out for him. But Solomon's actually a guy who I don't mind throwing up against him, to be honest with you. He's got the body. He's got he's got experience, all that stuff. What else? Who else? All right, we're going through the roster. That's what we're doing here. Bolton needs to be more consistent. Regier's got to decide if he wants to be the man or if he wants to be one of the guys. That fair? Could be the man or you could be one of the guys. Tyler Harris is a guy who I love. He's undersized, but he at least brings some energy. He doesn't play much defense, but at least he can go get a bucket for you. Here's the guy, and I heard a little nugget for our pregame audience. I heard that they were considering starting Darlin Stone Dubar tonight. So we'll just see. I don't know if that goes, and I don't even know who for. I know he's been really impressive. They like a lot about him, and I think that they might want some guys off the bench or some experience off of the bench. So keep an eye on that. Jaden Walker, I think, has a ton of talent. He's just a puppy coming off of the injury. We all know about Xavier Foster. And George Condit, really, where are we at, man? Like, it's time to roll. It's time to roll. I think that I think that George needed a better offseason, and that's not his fault. He was a guy who I was really looking at as like, man, like, that's a guy who just needs to just crush it this offseason, and then boom, you can go from like your current role to maybe even a draft pick, with his length. Let's see it. And I did hear that he's kind of getting back down to playing length or to playing weight. We'll see. Dudley Blackwell, don't know a ton about him yet. I know that they really like the young man, and they think that he can fill it up. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the roster. I think Johnson's got to be a guy tonight who goes out and hits a bunch of threes. They can get that from Tyler Harris. Again, I love him. I think that he just brings instant energy. I wish he would have committed. I know that they got Tyrese Halliburton instead, so it's not a fair trade. But I like Tyler Harris a lot. I think he's a good. I think he's a good fit for what they need. But yeah, let's Randy here. We'll show Randy from Facebook says big games provide big opportunity. That's right. That's kind of the good thing about tonight. I mean, it's not a good thing. You don't want to go into games with no expectations. That's bad. Like football right now, you're going into games with expectations. That's good because you're winning games. Right now we don't have those expectations for basketball, which stinks. You'd rather have them. The only good thing about it is tonight, empty stadium, you do feel like Iowa State can just go out there and kind of wing it, right? And just let it fly. You know that those kids from Iowa, the McCaffrey boys, Bohannon, they hate Iowa State. They absolutely hate Iowa State. I don't really think the Iowa State guys, I mean, they know Iowa's a good basketball team. But, I mean, does I don't know, does Javon Johnson, does he have any animosity towards the McCaffrey family? I mean, maybe Xavier Foster wants to go out there a little bit more in this game. I don't know. I just agree with Brandon here from Twitter saying nothing to lose. I completely this is how it is tonight for Iowa State. We shall see. I am let's just have a couple beers and hopefully the Clones can go out there and shock the entire state of Iowa. Just not a lot of expectations tonight. I'm gonna go, and we'll be back at halftime. Matt Van Winkle will join me. Stansbury will join us from Carver Hawkeye Arena, and we will break down the first half. Thanks to the Iowa Clinic Men's Center for sponsoring pregame. As always, we will be here before every game the rest of the way, other than the little non-conference games that don't really matter. We probably won't do those for these for those, but the Big 12 rest of the way we'll be doing all this just like we normally do. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you at halftime.